Okay, Cycle for Lifers. We went a couple years of motocross down south and doing some motocross events and beat the heck out of the Suzuki that we did. If you haven't seen the refurbishment videos on this bike, please do check it out. It's a 30-episode series of every single part of this bike being totally refurbished. But yeah, we went 2 years of motocross and without really hurting it. And then we did one hare scrambles race and ripped it to shreds. I mean, in one day. Look what happened to these grips. Cracking radiator, shroud fairings, mashing my pipe. Look at that pipe. But this video is about the pipe. We're going to fill this up with water, chock full, and see if we can push that out. A lot of guys say there's a danger of splitting the seams if you fill them chock full, but look how much volume is missing there. So I'll leave the ends unsealed. I'm not going to fill it and cap it. I'm just going to fill it and then lay it over on its side in the freezer. See if we can get that to pop out. If not, then what we'll do is go down to Home Depot and get some fittings and put some Schrader valves and some fittings and pressurize that pipe and do it with pressure and heat. Okay guys, we got this pipe off. We got the most of the mud and the gook and the mess, you know, parts washered off of it, rinsed off with water so we don't get too much gunk in the freezer. And here's the problem I'm coming up against. In order to keep the dent low, which is where you want it for the water to freeze, and the pipes high, it's going to have to sit basically like that. Make a mess. Making a mess, guys, but that's alright, it's just water. Okay. That's as much air down, that's as much water down there as I can get. We'll see if we can get that to freeze and start popping out. Okay guys, it's the morning after. Let's see how this pipe feels. See if we got any expansion at all on this whole thing. Oh, it's heavy. I don't know if it came out or not. I don't think it did. With the hole there in the pipe, we're going to have to at least weld that shut. At a very minimum. At a very minimum, we're going to have to weld that closed. Just to get it to hold water, you know, so it'll freeze again. But, yeah, before we do all that, maybe we need to just weld it shut so it'll hold air and seal the ends with fittings and blow it out with heat. So, either which way, we got to let this pipe thaw out, guys. So, before I decide what I'm going to do next, I'm going to throw this thing out in the sun and let it thaw. Okay, guys, I didn't have the results with the cold freezing that I wanted. It did push the pipe out. It was working. But there was so much gnarliness and damage there that it actually punctured popped the metal open. It took a crimple and broke it. So I got some fittings, and I'm going to seal this pipe and pressurize it with air. And we're going to try the technique where you put some air in the pipe, blow it up to about 50-60 psi, and then heat it with a torch. So I bead blasted the entire area, tack welded the crack shut so I can get a good air seal. This is a nice, convenient little fitting that they make, that I got at Home Depot for a few bucks. It fits right in that end, and that'll seal that end up real nicely. It's a real nice rubber plug. So make that good and tight, and then we're going to safety wire that. Let me show you guys what I mean by safety wire. You're going to throw something on there. See that, guys? I'm just throwing some wire on there, so if this thing pops, it can't, you know, really go far and kill anybody. It is going to hit the concrete wall. Might take out my Yoda statue, or one of my 11 #1 plates from the 2017 season. 11. So I don't want to do that, but it'll probably just bounce off the wall and not hurt anybody. So we'll throw a little safety wire on there. Now this end's going to be tougher because I got to get a Schrader valve in there to fill it up with some air. So I got a PVC cap that's the same size as the OD of the end of this inner pipe. I'm going to look for a radiator hose or something to seal it with, and then I'm going to draw a hole in this cap and put a Schrader valve in it to get an air seal. Okay, I found the right size hose to fit over this PVC cap. So now I got to get a Schrader in it to work. That hole's a little too small. We're going to step it up to the next size with my trusty little step drill bit. See where we get there. Okay, that's the next size up. I think that's going to do just fine. The more pressure we get behind that Schrader, the more it's going to push up against that plastic and seal. Now, if I blow that up with enough pressure, is it going to blow off of there? You bet it will. But again, it's going to hit the wall, or maybe Yoda. Please don't hit Job. And we're going to put some safety wire on this end, just like we did that end, to secure it. In case it does pop off, it's not going to go hurting anybody. Okay. Is this safety wire enough to completely seal that and hold it? No. It's just going to hold those fittings from flying across the room if they pop. Okay. So now that we have an airtight seal, we're going to see if we can get a little bit of pressure in there. You don't want to go too crazy on the pressure from what I've seen with this, guys. Most successful guys, times I've seen this done, 50, 60 pounds. You know, 20 pounds isn't enough to push it. 100's a little bit much because when you heat up 100, it becomes 140 real quick. It goes up not in a linear progression, but asymptotically. So what you want to do is you want to start it down around 50 pounds and increase it to 65 when you heat it up. Not 100 pounds and make it go all the way like 140 or 50 because the more pressure you put in it, the more it grows when you heat it. And it's not a linear progression. It gets ugly quick. So just throw about 50 pounds in there. There we go. Okay guys, we got an airtight fitting. We're up to about 10 pounds and it's holding. I don't hear any leaks. Everything's firm. Let's go ahead and get it up to about 25 pounds. And I'm going to stand off to the side because in case one of these pugs plops, I don't want it to get me. Okay, that's 30 pounds. You can see some expansion on the radiator hose. The radiator hose is growing. It's got 30 pounds of pressure on it. Those hoses are designed to hold, I don't know what they'll hold. I mean, a cooling system goes up to 14 to 17 pounds when it's fully hot with a good cap. It should never hold more than 17 pounds in a cooling system. So we'll see if 45 or 50 pounds explodes that radiator hose or not. That'd be fun. Okay, it's growing quite a bit there. I'm at about 45 pounds. I'm going to heat those cranks up at 45 pounds and see what happens. You can see that hose is starting to grow. I don't want to go crazy on that hose because It's the only one I have that fits, and if I explode that hose, I'm not going to be able to get this done today. So we're going to try to see if 45 pounds of air in this pipe is enough to do the job. I'm going to heat this weld really good. That factory weld there, where FMF made that pipe, I'm going to heat that metal a lot. Let's see if I can get that. There it goes. It's blowing out, guys. There we go. See that? It's moving. It's moving. We'll just keep going. We'll just keep working around. The weld I put on is holding the air pressure. We'll keep working the edges of the dimple. Just keep working it around. If we can't get any more motion, we'll increase the pressure again. It'd be nice if I had an assistant to verify 45 pounds of air, but I'm doing this by myself today. But see, when I heated that center weld is when it really was able to move. That brittle part of the weld is what was holding it. Alright, I hate to stop throwing heat at it, but I gotta see how much air we lost when the bubble came out. We lost pressure when that bubble came out, I'm sure of it. And we gained some also from the heat, so let's go ahead and see where we're actually at pressure-wise. Let's get a reading on it. Yeah, it went up over 60 pounds, guys. We're over 60. I'm not adding any more. We're over 60 pounds. I'm just gonna leave it where it's at and try to work it around. Keeping an eye on that radiator hose. It is expanding. I see it growing, but it hasn't failed yet. Hasn't failed. Yep, there went the hose. So we lost our air pressure, but we got the most of the bottom one out. We got most of the top one out. So it doesn't look like there's any damage to the hose itself. Let's go ahead and get this resealed and see if we can get started again. I'll do a better job of wiring it down. But see why I put the safety wire on there, guys? When it blew off, it caught everything. No injuries, no damage to anybody. Always got to think safety, guys. Right? Say think safety, Kyle. Think safety. Kyle. Okay, let me get this hose fixed. We'll be right back. Hey, we're ready for round two, guys. I put another 45 pounds in it. Sealed that hose back up. It just blew the end of the hose off the exhaust. It didn't hurt nothing. So I just sealed it back up, put another 45 in it. Look, we're already blowing out already. Look, guys, look, it's coming out. It's coming out. I'm going to heat that weld up. And once that weld is hot enough to flex, see that bubble coming out in the middle? Looks like I'm getting ready to pop a big old boil. Ew, it's gross. Ew. Alright, get that weld heated up right there. That weld's holding me back. All that brittle, firm, rigid metal from that weld is not wanting to flex. Yeah, and see all that gentle denting is coming out. Yeah. It's a heck of a lot rounder than it was when we started, guys. I got a bad crease right there that I ain't ever going to get out, and I accept that. But I got it out a lot better than it was. Let's go down here, see if we can get that bottom part worked out a little bit. Heat on the edges of the dent, so the edge of the dent where it's crimpled can fold a little bit, and heat on the weld, mainly on the weld. You don't want to go white hot, guys, because you'll deform the metal. I seriously doubt with propane you could deform it enough to get it to blow a hole out, but theoretically, if you got that metal hot enough, it'll blow a hole right through it. So you want to kind of just work the heat around, get it red hot, I would not go white hot. I just wouldn't. Red hot should be good enough. That hose up there is still puffed out pretty good. Puffed out like a puffer fish, so it means we got 50, 60, 70 pounds building up. Well, guys, I think I got out what's going to come out with air pressure. Yeah, there's a nasty crinkle there. And yeah, I could probably tack weld some bolts to it and slide hammer them out a little farther. But for a used pipe that I'm going to go ride on again, I think this is good. We're going to grind that off, make that weld smooth, and we're going to paint it. We're going to rock that pipe. I hate to use the phrase good enough because that imparts or implies a lack of craftsmanship, but in this case, this is good enough. Okay, guys, that's what it looks like after we got it all painted up. I just painted it with black barbecue paint. It'll get scratched up some more. That's okay. I just bead blasted all the old stuff off and put some black. And when we heat it up and ride it, it'll bake on pretty good. Just an old FMF. So yeah, it's not pretty, but it's not caved in anymore. It's going to run a heck of a lot better. Thanks for coming to this Cycle for Life video, guys. We greatly do appreciate it. We're not doing this to make money. This isn't a financial thing. I've got day work, full-time job. But please do like, share, and subscribe, and click the notification button, because it helps us get this information in front of other people. And you never know, maybe a motorcycle will save their life too. So wear your helmets, and no matter how fast you choose to ride, please ride safe. God bless.